Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the Arizona fishing communities. So, yesterday, I went to one of my primary Scottsdale spots. Now, because I'm trying not to put as many miles on my car, longevity and all that, and the way that new ones fucking cost, I'm trying to not drive there as much, but I can't argue with the typical success that I have on those ponds in Scottsdale. They're fairly consistent despite being fairly pressured. And the one that I typically go to, and I'm going to freely say this because, too many people just hide their shit. And I think it's right, but I also think it's stupid at the same time, depending on the circumstance involved. So, I used to fish Chaparral a lot, but it's gotten a lot of weeds in it. It's gotten way too many people on it the last few years, and I just kind of stopped really fishing it unless I'm throwing something like a fluke. And honestly, I really don't miss it. And I used to fish Kiwanis a lot. I mean, that used to be my pond, and that canal behind it used to have some really badass bass. And, I used to toss a lot of stuff in Chaparral, including a double Colorado blade spinnerbait in chartreuse and white, which usually caught some big son of bitches out of there. But the pond that I have consistently hit a lot during the summertime specifically is the one that's lateral across from Chaparral. And I don't think it's really got a designation, but the flow through with that neighborhood and everything, it comes all the way from Indian School Park all the way through Chaparral, and then there's the pond that's just past the dog park. They all flow into each other. When there's rain flow off, they also flush into the canals. So the culvert that's on that pond, it's got hundreds of feet underneath those houses. There's multiple chambers. They change the flow in and out every single day. And I've talked to him about it. I saw a guy out there checking one of the boxes out there and asked him why it went in and outflow. And he said, we change it every single day depending on where the flow's at. Well, I like fishing that pond, but I specifically like the culvert because I can toss small crappie jigs with a little bit of panfish scent. And I've had catfish hit, I've had tilapia hit, crappie, bass, even carp on occasion. They just, for some reason, they sit in there, and I think with the bass, they kind of go in there and hit bait too. There has been a lot of shad in there. I have not seen any the last couple times I've gone. I think there may have been a pretty decent die-off this winter. I think when it's colder in the wintertime, they actually do better than when it fluctuates like it has this last winter. Because let's face it, yesterday got up to 81 degrees. I mean, come on. It's fucking January. January is usually the coldest month. So I went yesterday for the first time in a while, and I got a Matthew Pickle Simmer saw plastic. Matthew. Haven't pulled them out for a while. I've got some muted colors, not bright shiny ones like normal. I've got those in my pack, but these were muted. And it's kind of like a shadow blue. It's kind of translucent, but not transparent. It's really kind of a cool color. It's got a little bit of sheen to it, but it's fairly dark. And let me tell you, I slaughtered. I got 7 crappie that were all hand size or more. Historically, I've gotten the biggest crappie I've gotten out of that culvert was just over 3 pounds. I didn't really advertise that unless I was talking to direct friends. I did take a picture of it, and I had an Engel cooler that I had the lid had broken off that one of my friends in the fishing group had given me. Rodrigo, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Rodrigo. And it folded up inside that thing, and that thing is 12 inches long. It was a big fucking crappie. So there's consistency in there because the bait is very good, and the bass get in there pretty big, but there's not a whole ton of bass in there, so they don't have to compete for the food. So the ones that you do catch tend to be fairly decent size. Well, the one I caught out of the culvert, I had like 5 crappie in, and then all of a sudden this thing hit, and it felt like a catfish at first. And understand, it's a 7'6" 2-piece ultralight with 2-pound line. So I'm working with a very ultralight setup. and it was doubled over the whole damn time. It took me close to 10 minutes to finally get it to the surface to where I could lip it. Probably the biggest bass I've had in a couple years, because I haven't really been on the main lakes a lot at all. It was a fun time, but I'm offering the fact that that's the location because I'm not scared of people fishing it. Throw something in the culvert. There's other people that fish there, and that's the thing that I want to point out. We don't own the water, and when people act like that, I think it kind of takes away from the community. But I understand when people don't give out an exact location. You can still give the pond. I just told you guys the culvert. I'm not afraid of it. The food resource biome in that pond is ridiculous. They're not going to go away anytime soon. I do think that a lot of the tilapia have died off in there. There were some real beasts. By the way, if you're looking to catch big fucking tilapia, Indian School Pond, it is insane how big I've seen some of them in there. Now, one thing to note, in the state of Arizona, it is legal to cast net tilapia. They don't really give you an amount to not go beyond in their nomenclature, but I do know that harvesting with the intent to distribute is something you cannot do. And that was encountered by me on the part of a couple individuals that were taking 55-gallon trash cans and were netting them by the hundreds out of the canal behind Carriage Lane. I don't even pretend to understand the mentality of it. I am very much a conservative person when it comes to taking care of things in the outdoors. I try to release fish with health, and if I harvest them quickly and humanely. So to me, that was just really not cool. So yeah, that's the pond in Scottsdale that I typically go to. I'll hit McKellips on occasion. You know, I'll hit that whole daisy chain. Hit the canals out there. I have actually done really good on the canal section that's off of rural, just past Guadalupe, that goes by Ken McDonald Golf Course. I parked at the YMCA and I toss all along there. Neds and drop shots typically. Sometimes underspins. But yeah, I just wanted to say how yesterday went. I mean, damn. I mean, that bass was fucking beefy, man.